Welcome to the Valley Today, a public service presentation of KAIL-TV. On November 1st, the Met Cinema in Oakhurst closed its doors. Not so fast, says three locals. Childhood friends James Nelson, Keith Walker, and Matt Sconce went into action and came up with a game plan to reopen the theater. Join us as we speak with these three dynamos, up next on the Valley Today. So we are here with these three young men, and they've come up with a new concept. This theater in Oakhurst had closed at the end of November.
Start of November.
Start of November it closed. And who freaked out first? Was it you?
I would definitely say the moment that happened, I was like, yeah, that doesn't get to happen. We got to fix this.
Yeah, and you guys had childhood memories here. I mean, you all grew up with this theater in place, so you came and had some great moments here. I read where one of you even had dates here.
Yeah, I think we all
or
did.
Even had conceivably met your wife here.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be me.
That wouldn't be you.
Well, maybe I did meet my wife here. I just don't know yet. I don't know yet. Yeah.
Now, all of you guys are about the same age. You went to high school together here, and you worked on a science project that was pretty brilliant. And I heard it got kicked out because they didn't believe that the circuitry that you guys came up with the circuitry.
Yeah.
They thought we bought it.
Yeah.
They thought we basically had bought all the circuitry stuff, so we couldn't have afforded it, and we couldn't have built it. So we got a spirit of the problem violation.
Yeah, and what year was that?
When was that?
It was in high school. It was like
Yeah.
probably 98 or 97, something like that.
So, have you guys been close friends most of your young lives?
Say so?
Yeah.
I just got recently married in May, and they were two of the groomsmen at my wedding.
Yeah,
so
well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so you're all, what, about 25, 26 years old? Older?
Something like that.
Yeah?
Something like that. That sounds good. I remember that.
Yeah. Okay, well, I can tell how old you are by when you graduated. You graduated in 99, right?
Yeah, so 30? What are we, 30, 31?
30 and 31. And
32.
Oh,
He's the old man of the
I'm 58, so. All right, so this place closes the beginning of November. This cinema closes, a 5-screen cinema, only cinema in the area, in eastern Madera County. And years ago, there was a theater even in Bass Lake, but that was probably before you guys were born.
I went to that theater.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I went to the theater in Bass Lake. I remember attending the theater and then getting ice cream afterwards.
Nice.
I'd always get that bubblegum ice cream, so it was a big part. I always went to the movies in the mountains. And
Right.
so when the theater closed, it felt like we had lost a person. I think the whole community felt like that.
Really?
We had lost a piece of who we were. And then some people felt, well, is it the start of the end of the area? Are we going to lose everything that we care about? And so there was a lot of motivation for people to say, no, we're not going to. We want to save it, but they didn't have a way to save it. And then James came up with a way to save it, told us about it, and then we're like, you know what, we can do it. And they're going to do it too.
Yeah. So conceivably, the Bass Lake Theater is coming back online?
No, it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah,
And
actually-
how long ago did that close?
I don't know. I know that Rusty and Sarah were involved with it for a little bit, but most of the time people were just coming over here. So.
Yeah. Theater is in our, cinema is in our culture. I mean, anybody who's 100 years or younger, and if you're 100 years old watching this show, call me because I want to talk to you too. But it's in the American culture. The cinema,
absolutely.
so everybody has gone to the movies. Everybody.
It's one of the very few places that you can go anymore and actually escape from everything that's going on.
Right,
You
exactly.
show up in this space.
You can come up in this space, and for an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how long the trailers are, and how long they're trying to entice you to buy the concessions, you can come and lose yourself and forget who you are and be transferred into another world.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to go
And that
away.
world
Everybody's
crashed
gonna
for you
want
guys
that.
on November 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you come up with the idea, how are we going to save this? That's the first thing that probably popped in your mind.
Yeah, it was kind of like the first thought that I had was like, how would this actually work? And I have a Netflix subscription, and I got a few other subscriptions, and I was like, everything seems to be going in that direction. Maybe that
Right.
would work with this.
Yeah.
So I thought about it for a little bit, and I gave Matthew a call, and he got excited about it, and I gave Keith a call, and he dropped what he was doing and drove down from San Francisco, and we got started.
Yeah. Keith is working at Lockheed Martin, been there for 8 years, and you left your job.
I did, yeah. So actually, I was actually at Clout. So I left Lockheed Martin in early 2012.
Okay.
And then I was at a startup up in San Francisco.
What was the startup doing?
It's a social media web-based startup.
So you're getting away from the hard engineering and getting
Right.
more towards the social media and all that.
Correct,
So this
yeah.
was a good fit for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
this
for you
was.
to come here, I mean, you're home now. You're all your friends and your family is here in Oakhurst.
Yep, my family's here. Yeah, I've been crashing at my parents' house.
Yeah.
I think they probably, they like that, but.
I think they do too. I talked to your mom the other day because I was trying to hunt you guys down, and I was saying, hey, how can I get a hold of, I know that one of them involved is your son, how can I get a hold of him? She gave me your phone number.
Got it.
And she says, yeah, he's living with us, and
Yeah.
I think she was happy about that.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
Yeah. So you guys come and you start to figure out how you're going to reinvent cinema for Oakhurst.
That's correct, yeah. Yeah, we realized we had an opportunity here to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And we realized we had an opportunity to do something that could bring more value to all the parties involved.
Yeah.
And, it's something where we like the idea that I think James came up with this concept of this. So we're creating a place of freedom where people no longer have to have cost be a consideration of if they're going to watch a movie. Mm-hmm. And that allows people to experience more movies, and that allows them to experience them in a different way. And it allows us to bring a wider variety of options of types of movies as well.
Both sides of my brain are firing right now. The one side of my head is thinking, what are you guys thinking? I mean, because this is a gauntlet. And the other side of me is saying, this is really cool. And I could be talking to Jedi Masters here. You know what I mean? I mean, you guys might be, one of the 21st century icons, for pulling this together, really.
All right. Well, thanks. You never know. We'll see. We're living the movie right now.
And Movie Pass was an idea that didn't come to fruition in another market, and so you guys are reinventing this. I mean, you have to come up with the deal. Of course, you had to deal with the landlord and deal with the physical brick and mortar, but also the deals with the movie studios. I mean, you don't have any contracts yet, but you're working on that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
One of the biggest problems that we are solving right now is there's been a couple other people at a couple other theaters that have tried to do the membership model, but the big question is if all of the money is being gathered by the theater at the beginning of the month, what guarantee the studios have that they're getting paid? When a patron walks in to watch a movie, we're going to make sure that they're paying because part of that is ours.
Right.
That is the problem that we're solving here.
Yeah.
We have found a way to make sure that everybody that is accounted for that walks through the door and that is watching the movie, and that was the big problem that had not been solved yet.
So one of the things now with you in the meat of this is you're cleaning this theater. This theater was built in '86, and it's been used, so it's conceivably 27, 28 years old, and now you're having to get rid of all that detritus.
Yeah, there has been definitely years of accumulation of people enjoying movies. Mm-hmm. And the years of accumulation we've found out are pretty dirty.
Yeah.
So we never realize how dirty it is until you start to clean. And so I think that people are going to be very surprised when they come back. It's going to be clean, it's going to be fresh, it's going to be a nice place to be.
Yeah. So when you initially launched the membership drive, how did that go? And when did you start that?
Well, we realized that we had, in November when we were talking, we realized that we probably would launch in December, right at the end of November, and we would have 1 month to be able to communicate to the entire rural mountain community that we had till the 31st to show that they wanted to save the theater.
Why was the 31st the hard line?
Basically, we have a lot of parties working with us and giving us concessions. So the landlords were being very gracious. They were letting us use the space. Just be here, which was amazing. The owners were putting everything on hold. Rusty and Sarah and Ray and Irma and everybody was like, you know what? Go ahead and do it. Well, to be fair to all of them, there needed to be a deadline to show, well, if it's not going to work, we don't want to drag it out for months and months and, take advantage of that grace that all of them were giving us.
Because
so the 31st was that deadline.
Yeah, I mean, you guys only had 60 days.
We only had 30 days to motivate all the mountain community. Yeah.
So primarily you're out on the street corner in costumes with signs?
Well, that was one aspect of it. What we decided is we needed to reach every single person individually, so we sent direct mail to every single household in the mountain community. We hit several places twice. I think we've been covered in various news stories, I think about 15 to 20 of them during that month to try to get the word out to people that might not have seen that direct mail. Email campaigns, Facebook campaigns, personal campaigns on the corner. We had people show up in Jedi costumes. It's funny you call this Jedi Masters because we had a Jedi Master show up out there, you know? And now he's over there cleaning the theater, so he's pretty awesome. But the community really rose up, and the community said, you know, we will save this theater, and we won't let it go away, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So they responded to our way to do it.
The whole deal's changing. You know, we get instant things on our computer now. You know, you can. It's not appointment television anymore. When I was a kid, where, you know, things came on the network, and you had to show up at that time to watch it. There wasn't even a way to record it.
Right.
And now you can watch stuff on the internet. You don't even have to watch broadcast television anymore. You can watch everything off the internet. And that's changed the deal too for movies, don't you think?
Yeah, it definitely has. I think there's been bleed from the people that used to always go to movies choosing different options.
Right.
So we've had people attending movies go down,
Yeah.
which has hurt theaters, which in turn hurts everybody. So we had to show there's a viable option for people that love that, and that's why the subscription model is so amazing, because they're used to this model. Most people use this for the entertainment that they see. Now they can also use it for their theater experience,
Right.
but still have the perks of not being interrupted, being able to experience emotions as a community, which is very powerful, and just come together in a place in their town where they can be around each other.
Yeah, and you made an interesting point that, you know, when you go to a theater, you know, the venue is bigger, and it's just a whole different experience than if you watch something on TV or if you watch it on your computer.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you definitely feel, I think you feel more emotion that way. And I think one of the reasons is because as a filmmaker, we want people to be able to experience our story from the beginning to the end with that emotional roller coaster. And when people interrupt that by phone calls, so being like, oh, I'll just run down to the bathroom, oh, my kid's screaming, you know, oh, I need to go heat my thing up in the microwave.
Yeah.
All those things break that pattern.
Continuity.
And the continuity,
Right.
and so it lessens the power and the emotional impact that people enjoy in movies for them.
Yeah.
And the theater lets them have that.
And you'll be able to just, I mean, you guys are going to be able to reinvent the wheel here, because not only will you have studio releases, but you can conceivably have local stuff being produced and shown here, and you could have other events, you could have wine tastings, you could, I mean, the sky's the limit, really it is, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We're definitely wanting to make this more of a community theater. We'll have events here. We were talking about having the Super Bowl here and the Oscars, so that people can come here for various events, you know, and just create a really community-centered environment where if there's something going on, there's something going on at the Met.
Yeah. Well, Keith, James, and Matt, man, I'm so good because I remembered all your names.
That's pretty good.
Welcome back to the Valley today. We are with the three amigos. Well, it's true, right?
Yeah.
The three amigos, Matt and James and Keith. And we're in one of the theaters now, and this place has got a really storied history. It's the original theater was just 3 screens, and then they added 2 more down the road because they just couldn't, they just didn't have enough space.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know Rusty and Sarah, when they were originally running this, did an amazing job. I really felt like when I was communicating with them, that they had this overwhelming sense of ownership, that this is who they were. They'd go around and making sure even little spots here and there on the walls were like filled in and painted, and
Yeah.
there was just this amazing sense of responsibility
Right.
that they had here, and people were really coming out to see them and interact with them. In a small theater like this, one of the most important aspects of it is having a very clear face, like who is this theater?
Yeah.
And they really understood that, and it grew really well when they were running it.
There are a lot of things going on here. I mean, we're in the transition of everything changing because of the internet and all that. The economy has gone down. And now another gauntlet for you guys is the fact that it's not going to be 35 millimeter film anymore. That is going away, and it's going to be a digital projection.
Oh, yeah,
and so that means that you're going to have to retool.
Yeah, that's something that all filmmakers kind of saw coming. You know, we all talked about it coming, and everybody didn't want it to happen. A lot of people loved that feel of 35 millimeter film.
Right.
There's a lot of us that love digital, but finally the studios why would they keep printing to both? And they drew the line in the sand and said,
Right.
we're going to just do digital now.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of theaters in the country that can't afford to go digital. And that's part of our model, is to go digital slowly. We can do it a lot faster, of course, if we either have more members or investment or something like that.
Right.
But our model accounts for that, and it allows the theater to become digital so it doesn't just close.
Yeah, and you made an interesting point. As being a filmmaker, you have made some feature-length pictures that have been shown on screens.
Correct.
But the thing that you said is that, now that it's gone digital, anybody can make a movie, but should they?
That is the question, isn't it? I think that everybody that wants to make a movie should pursue it. I think there's a right way to go about it. And I
Right.
think they need to plan well, they need to learn their craft, surround themselves with really good people,
Yeah.
find a great story, and then do it when they're ready.
Yeah. And we're here now, and we're cleaning. You guys are in this theater and cleaning, and you've got all kinds of help here.
Yeah.
Can you wave? No, maybe not.
Yeah.
But it's got to be interesting that coming in and going through 25 years of stuff that's, I can imagine you found all kinds of interesting stuff.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm coming over here, Keith.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, no, I mean, it's been, it's been interesting going through and just kind of looking at the way the space is now and the vision of what we want it to be like. One of the things that we have looked into is we really want this to feel like, have a mountain feel. So in addition to doing the cleaning, we're also, we're doing some painting. We're wanting to add some like wood accents and some things so that this feels like a special place people want to be at, and a place that has, that feels like it's in the mountains.
Yeah. And you guys have really rallied the community. I mean, where, you have a sense of pulling people together and saying, oh, we've got it. This is ours. We have to save this. We don't want to go to Fresno to watch a movie. We want to stay in Oakhurst, so we don't have to drive that far.
Now, I remember during the last kind of 11th hour when people were calling in, they were just like, I guess I get to sign up because I got about a half dozen people here telling me I have to sign up right now.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot of very community involvement.
Did you get any crybabies when they heard that this place was closing? They
Oh,
were
yeah.
just,
There were
they were
so
just
many
in
people
tears,
that
they were
were-
tore up.
I think we were crybabies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we were crybabies inside, at least.
Yeah.
Because we were like, no, it can't go away. And then that's probably what we were doing. And then James was just like, I'm not going to let it go away. And we were like crying. And then he called us and we're like, oh, okay, we'll do something about it.
What's your earliest movie that you remember?
Oh, I saw every single movie growing up here because I started coming here when I was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So from my earliest memories, all the movies were at this theater.
Yeah.
And I remember probably one of the most impacting ones was The Matrix. I remember walking out of this theater after watching The Matrix and thinking, are we in The Matrix? Like, it really did a number on my mind. I was really torn up for a while, and then I'm like, I don't think I'm in The Matrix. But it took me a little bit.
That's a combination of an active imagination and too much sugar.
Too much sugar and childhood imagination.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movies here were fun because you were with people you knew.
Right.
You saw people that you were like, hey, what's going on in your life? And it's just a different type of community in a rural mountain environment than it is when you're somewhere where you don't know anybody in the
You
theater.
come here, see a movie, and probably see your friends in the audience, and you get to reconnect, although you probably see your friends at school every day, but I mean, it just was a whole different experience.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable experience, and I think it was a community building experience.
Right.
And so that's why I think it's so important to keep the theater here because, I mean, I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I can't imagine them growing up somewhere where they don't have a movie theater
Right.
because it shaped me as a person, probably inspired me to become a filmmaker. It's like all that probably started here, and so I want them to have the same experience.
So you had the drive for the membership, and the 11th hour was December 31st for 3,000 subscription, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I think it was 8 something. What time was it?
8:20.
8:20? When we
8:20.
got that last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little video of it actually, of us
Oh,
all
really?
being really excited right when that happened.
It's a really horrible video. It was like flip-flopping and spinning around and pointing at people's faces.
You can hear us all yelling.
Yeah.
Lots of excitement.
It had to be great. I mean, on New Year's Eve to get your 3,000. How many can you assimilate? How many people can you have in the subscription base?
Honestly, based on the number of people and how often they come, we can probably somewhere do in the neighborhood of 10 to 12,000 members before it starts getting overcrowded and people would have to be turned away on a
Yeah.
regular basis.
So to be in this club, it would be what, $20 a month?
Yeah, it's $19.95 a month for an individual.
For an individual.
And for that, they get to watch every movie that comes to the theater.
Okay. Are there any limitations as to how many times they can come, or is it just a one-shot per movie that's released?
Yeah, it's going to be, for each movie that we bring in, they're going to have the first viewings covered by the membership.
Yeah. So conceivably, they can see more movies and spend less money.
Exactly.
I mean, you go to Fresno, anywhere, at any of these conventional theaters, it's anywhere from $10 to $15 to go to a movie.
Yeah.
And that's just to get in. And that doesn't. But now you're going to have the concessions, right?
Yeah, we're definitely going to have the concessions. And something nice is because of this model, we're going to be focusing on offering better concession quality. So we're focusing on that. Obviously, the place is cleaner. It's more fun to buy food in a clean place.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that we're going to be doing. And people, I mean, they can support their theater by the membership. They can also support the theater by buying concessions there, because concessions are still the lifeblood of the theater.
So you're going to reinvent the whole way that people see movies, conceivably, right?
Yeah, we're hoping that we give more freedom. So we want it to be more beneficial for the studio, more beneficial for the viewer, and more beneficial for the theater. So all three win in this model. So that's why we believe in it so much, because we're like, why wouldn't you want to do this? Because every single person does better than they used to. They all have more freedom, they have more income, they save more income as a viewer, and all this, is offered to them with this model.
And you guys have gotten national attention with this. You've been on National Public Radio, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We're actually going to be on there tomorrow, I believe, tomorrow morning on Marketplace.
That is wonderful. What's you've got an internet address.
The internet address that people can go and read all sorts of things about this. They can see about us. They can sign up if they want. By the way, we have people signing up across the nation for this just because they like to support it.
They want to support you,
And that is savethemet.com.
Yeah.
So they go to savethemet.com and they can find out everything.
Savethemet.com.
Savethemet.com.
You're going to be bringing tourism in, because people are going to want to come here. They're going to sign up that live in Fresno and live in Madera. They're going to sign up just to come here,
and show
which isn't a bad idea. Hey, take a 50-minute drive, come to the mountains.
Yeah.
Come see a movie, go to Bass Lake, get something to eat, or
exactly.
just go screw around and do something,
Yeah, have a mountain adventure, and you can go see free movies because you're a member.
Right, that is cool. So how is it going with the studios? That's the kind of one of the last things that you have to put in place?
Yeah, actually, I think what probably happened in the past was there's been a lot of small theaters across the country that have tried to do the membership model and tried to take advantage of the studios. We have set this up in a way where we've solved the problem of accounting for all of the people that are coming into the theater. That was the biggest thing, is like, if you have a membership, the studio doesn't know who's actually coming in. There's no way of monitoring that. So we're putting together a proprietary system that really guarantees that everybody that's coming into the theater is accounted for.
Very nice.
And that was the big problem.
You've gotten FaceTime down in Los Angeles with the major studios?
Not yet. I've talked with them extensively on the phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, not in person yet.
And there are X amount of studios, so there's about 12 major studios?
Yeah, about 12 major studios.
Yeah. And so that to put that all together, it's that's it then. Once that's together, then you guys can rock and roll. And you're looking at a February 1st opening?
We're looking at a February 1st opening. That's tentative because it does depend on how fast the contracts move through the studio system, because we have to have movies to show people. And so that's what we're working really hard on. We're obviously cleaning, we're renovating, there's going to be painting happening, and we're trying to get the movies at the same time. So this is all happening at the same time.
A lot of these people volunteers that are helping you clean?
These people are all volunteers. They're community people that want to save the theater, and they donate their time and their skill.
Right. And so are you working on the proprietary software?
I am working on the software.
That's what you're doing, huh?
Yep. Yeah, it's been fun for me. I feel like I left Oakhurst for a while, and I developed a skill set, and it's been neat to bring that skill set back here and to use that to save the theater that was my childhood theater.
Yeah. Well, we're out of time, boys, but congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
It's I feel like I'm standing with 21st Century Jedi here at the Met Cinema up here in Oakhurst, and I sense great things for this place and for all three of you. Thank you so much for being on the Valley today.
Thank you.
And once again, that was savethemet.com.
Savethemet.com.
Savethemet.com, and that's where they can go for people to look at the stories and then also to sign up and become members.
That's true.
And you want everybody to sign up.
Everybody.